Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolours in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolour. Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Today we're going to do a little design that I've been working on for a while now, which would be ideal for a Christmas card, a place card, a tag, just a little, message at Christmas, anything like that. Really simple, easy to do, and basically just a bit of fun. We're just going to do some baubles with some snowflake patterns and a sort of little Christmassy motif on it. And what I'm going to be using today, I'm just using a little China palette that I've got here. It comes from a company called Meaden, I think, which I got on Amazon. It's in my shop if you want to go and have a look at it. Really useful. I use this an awful lot. And I use my tube paints and I just put the colours that I want to use most often. And for this time of year, I have found that these are the colours that I tend to go to in order to achieve something which is a little bit Christmassy like this. And what I've got here, just to run through the colours, I've got my quinacridone gold, which I usually can't manage without. That's how I find is my basic yellow. I've also got cadmium yellow here, or another yellow would do. This is cobalt blue, a nice clean blue. Turquoise blue there, which I find is very useful for making interesting shades of green when you're doing leaves. Sap green, which is the basis of most greens too. This is Winsor violet here. Quinacridone violet would do, or something similar to that. Cadmium orange, and here we've got scarlet or cadmium red and alizarin crimson. So a warm and a cooler red. So those are the colours that I have available to me, and I can make most things happen with those. I've also got my Astari colours set here from Kiritaki. Definitely needed that for Christmas. Everyone needs one of those. I've got my Sigma Uniball gel pens here, probably only going to use the white. So they're at the ready. The white ones, when you use them, don't press too hard, because if you press hard, then the ink doesn't come out. And my brush is a number 7 round pointed brush. This one's got a nice point on it. I'm using a Maestro from Drawwell. You can also use their number 11-2, which is not quite so pointed as this one, but it does the job fine. And they're extremely inexpensive. You can get those direct from Japan if you want. Paper, I've been practicing this morning on, this is a Lapis Fidelis from Arches, which is smooth on one side and slightly textured on the other. This is just Etival, Clairefontaine Etival paper, which is fine. It's good. It's not got so much character, but it's absolutely fine for practicing, which is what I was doing. Trying to follow my own advice, practice on cheap paper, then try it out on something a bit more expensive, see if you can see the difference. And for this version, I'm going to use my book of Hahnemühle bamboo mixed media paper. I always find it very difficult to make my mind up, and then I mess the paper up by putting paint on it from my mucky fingers. But if it's decent paper, you can always wash it off. So there we are. Now, if you aren't particularly confident at drawing circles, then just find yourself a nice, convenient lid like this, something nice and round, and you can just draw around it. And that's a really good idea. And I should probably do that, actually, because, whilst I can do these things when nobody's watching me, it's much harder when I'm recording. So let's just do it that way, shall we, to be on the safe side. Find a pencil. And You can arrange the baubles however you like. I think I would suggest putting them on the paper before you do the leaves. So we'll just go around that like that. And so there's bauble number 1. And then we want one slightly bigger. So this will be number 2. Slightly bigger, I think this one is. Yep, you can always rub the lines out afterwards. Maybe we'll use that one again for this one behind. And then we want another one over here, which is going to be... You can vary the sizes more than this if you want. But let me think. I might make a smaller one there. Let's see if this is smaller. Yeah, that's a tiny bit smaller. So that's what I wanted. So we'll put that one up here. And then another one down here, and I want that one to be even smaller still. So this is the advantage of having loads and loads of bottles of this and that lying around all over the place. Plenty. That one's too small. Plenty of options for lids. That'll do, I think. Oh no, that would be fine. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put some greenery along the top and along the bottom like that. And that's all we need to do for the minute. And now we have to decide on what colours we're going to use. And I did a few different options. I did red and green, traditional colours. I did something in subtle greens and blues, a little bit more stylish. And then I did these ones in blues. That was the first one, actually. But I think I'm going to go with the traditional colour scheme because I'm a traditional girl at heart. And I'm going to mix up here I'm going to mix some quinacridone gold with some cadmium red. And the reason for that is I want it to be reasonably strong. I'm just going to rub out that line there because that might show through. The lines around the outside edges will either disappear or we'll be able to get rid of them after it's dry. So we just fill this with red. Doesn't matter if your hand shakes a bit and it goes a bit wonky. And I'm just going to put a bit of Winsor violet or quinacridone violet, whichever one you have. I'm just going to feed that in as well, especially on one side to make it a little bit darker on one side and leave it a little bit lighter on the other side. And then let that run. And then I think maybe we'll do this one in a kind of mauve. Well, it's obviously quinacridone or Winsor. I think it's the same. They just call it different things, I think. Although I'm just going up as close as I can to the red one because I don't want to wait for it to dry. And if I touch it, obviously it will run. So we'll try not to do that. So I'm just putting a little bit more darker. So I'm going to pick up a bit of blue, mix that with the quinacridone violet, and then drop that in on that side, also to give just a hint of three-dimensionality. Just make it more powerful. This one is, I hope, going to be a little bit darker than the other ones that I did earlier. Now, the next one I'm going to do in gold. So I'll be swapping to my, what do you call them? Starry colours. I'm going to have to get some more of this soon. I was saying to Tamsin the other day, it's very rare for me to actually finish up a whole pan of paint. You know, the little half pans that you get in a paint set, because I tend not to paint from pans. The traditional small size is a bit too small for my style, so I tend to use tubes and only use pans when I'm painting on holiday or traveling or whatever, or in the studio, because I know a lot of people do like pans because they're convenient. They don't take up much space. Anyway, what am I rambling on about now? Hardly, I don't know. I can't remember ever having finished up a whole pan or half pan ever. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm painting these two in, I'm sure I have, but I don't remember. Painting these two in gold. I should have done. Been painting since I was a child, and that's 60 years ago now. I'm painting these in starry gold, two different shades. This is more of a I don't know, white gold or something. White gold looks like silver, doesn't it? It's like platinum. Oh, it's a platinum necklace, this is. Oh, it looks like silver to me. Whatever. And then I'm going to use what's on my brush and mix it in with some of the red, just to paint this one in a sort of golden red kind of thing. You could do all of them like that if you wanted to. You could mix starry colours into any colour and you'll get a sort of metallic lustre. So there we are. There's our 4 balls. 5. This paper is nice. It seems to keep the colour on top, doesn't soak it up too much, and that's a good thing. Let's put that out of the way there. And now I'm going to mix some dark green, and I've got sap green here, which on its own, as I said, isn't dark enough for the greenery. So I'll pick up some quinacridone violet or Windsor violet, mix that with the green and a touch of turquoise, and then I'll just test that on my test sheet here. That's fine. Okay, now I will move that out of the way. And what I'm going to do is, using the point of the brush, just going to try to do a reasonably, doesn't have to be perfect, narrow line like that. I won't do the one down the bottom yet because I need to, I'll get a hand in it if I paint it and don't use it. And then I'm going to put some little pointed leaves on here, and going to do them by pressing down on the side and then on the other side. And the thing is, when you are doing this kind of work, when you're doing anything, any kind of painting, and you're using a different sheet of paper, you will find sometimes that it doesn't behave quite the way you expected. So you have to adjust what you're doing. If you were painting on smooth paper, you'd have a different effect. So I'm not one to look for perfection or tidiness. I think when people say, oh, I'm such a perfectionist, I think sometimes what they mean is they like everything to be tidy and even and without flaw or variation. And that's not particularly like nature, is it? Because the beauty of nature is the variety and the unevenness. You know, a beautiful sky is not tidy. A beautiful garden shouldn't really be tidy. Anyway, do whatever you want. If you want it to be tidy, let it be tidy, but don't stress about it. Whatever you do, let it be fun. And just go with the flow. So there we are, there's the top one. And question is now, shall I do, I think I'll just do the berries next. So we just pick up some nice bright red. And we're going to give each little, oops. Trying not to touch the leaves. Let's just mop that up and then I can put some green on top of that when that's dry. I think I've got a little bit too much wet there, so we'll just dry that off a bit. And just draw some berries. Where would we be at Christmas time without berries, eh? Make them different sizes. But put them kind of evenly all along, I would say, something like that. I woke up last night dreaming about bells, Christmas bells, and I thought to myself, oh, I really should do a painting of some Christmas bells because I haven't seen anyone doing that before. And to me, Christmas and the, going to midnight mass and all that kind of thing was always part of Christmas when I was young. And then we left England and went to live abroad, and it didn't ever seem to quite be the same. But then that's mostly imagination because, as you get older, things change, don't they? Anyway, the bells, yes, I remembered that when I was at school and we had art lessons and I was 10, 11, I remember one year there was a competition for designing a Christmas card, and I wanted to enter this competition at school, and I was desperate to paint some bells. I had this idea in my head of 2 bells and some holly and stuff like that. I remember working on it for ages and ages and ages, and it never came out quite right. So I woke up in the middle of the night thinking about that and thinking, I'm going to do some bells with holly and all that as a tutorial soon. But not today. So watch out for that. Couldn't get the shape of the bell right. I probably still won't be able to get the shape of the bell right. There we are. So that's our berries. I hate having to wash my brush out and waste all that paint. You want to carry on painting, don't you? Let me put the green back in that one. Like that. Right, quick going over with the hairdryer, and I think that's dry now. And we might be able to risk erasing lines on the outside here. To be really careful. When the Kuretake Starry Colour paint is dry, it's much brighter, shinier than it is when it's wet. So have faith when the first time you use it. Don't worry if it seems not to be bright, because it does definitely go shinier as it gets dry. Marvellous things, these paints. I'm really very lucky to have such lovely Christmassy colours. Okay, that will have to do. So just brush that off with my shaving brush. Okie dokie. And gold to tie the balls, first of all, to the bow. And I'm going to do it very casually like that. Let me just come up here, straight up behind the leaf. Let me do that. And this one hasn't got far to go. This one, like that. And this one. Like that. So now they're all in place. And then at this point now you've got lots of choices to do. I was thinking of snowflakes. Poor dog down the hill, still tied up day after day. I've reported her twice now, the neighbour, to the equivalent of the RSPCA here. They phoned me and said, oh, well, we will come out, but don't know when. And I think that dog is going to go crazy. Okay, so when you're doing a snowflake, they have 6 points, and it's a little bit tricky because you have to find the middle, draw a line, and then divide it as evenly as you can into 6, like that. Doesn't matter if it's a bit off, as mine always inevitably are. I should measure it. I should get a compass out. Shouldn't I, Tamsin? But I don't. So we're just doing some decoration on here, which is reminiscent of snowflakes. I'm not going to say these are perfect. At least they do have 6 points, and that's the key thing, really. Let me think. What shall we do here? We could do a shape like that. And then we can make them what you might call just embellished. So it's snowflake theme, I think I would tend to say for that. And same for this one. We're going to come down and we're going to go across in the middle and across there. And we're going to hope that nobody minds if they're a bit weird. I do find that dog very disturbing. Poor thing. We've been taking her for a walk when we can, but the woman doesn't like me to do it. She gives me the finger if she sees me anywhere near her place. And so I've been going out there, and I don't think it's helped my blood pressure, to be quite honest. Having confrontations with a neighbour over her abuse of a dog is not exactly what you'd call calming. But I'm not the kind of person who can sit by and just ignore something like that. So I don't know how we're going to resolve it yet. But it will be resolved. The problem is here in France, a lot of people tie their dogs up outside. Okay, changing the subject. One final snowflake, and I'm going to, on this one, just do completely non-snowflake emblems. Just anything, whatever comes to mind, whatever comes out the end of your brush or pen or mouth. There we are. So that will do for now, I think. And then one last thing here is we're going to pick up some dark gold on the paintbrush. I can get it to And then we'll just put some nice wavy lines on these coloured ones here. And this one wants to be more silvery, so we'll go for the lighter. I think it does. Does it? Or does it want to be really dark? Let's see. Well, that works. That's okay, I think. Compromise, do both. There we are. Okay, and you could, if you wanted to, come into the leaves and just put some veins in the center of the leaf symbols, just to make them look perhaps a little bit more finished off. Optional. When you use these pens, make sure you don't press too hard. I mentioned that before, but just in case you missed it, only press lightly, hardly press at all, and then you'll find that they'll work better. So there we are. Oh, I'll tell you what I do want to do. I want to put a little bit of gold on this one. I want to put some gold around the outside edges here. Lots of dots. It's a dotty theme. Okay, so there we are. Interesting design. I think it would work very nicely for a little card, place holder, you know, anything really. Hope you enjoyed that. Give us a like and subscribe and turn on notifications if you did. And here's a tip. YouTube has been doing a whole bunch of stuff lately, changing things. But one of the things that we do now have is something called a handle. So if you're looking for me or any of my videos, all you need to do is when you go to the internet, go to Google or whatever, or Safari or whatever, just type in the @ symbol, arrobase, as they say here in France, @Diane Antone, and everything that I do will appear before your very eyes. You know, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, our website, everything will all come up and all be listed there for you to choose between what you want to go and look at that's got to do with us. So I hope that makes life a little bit easier for people. That's now been introduced, and they've introduced a lot of other stuff too, which we'll talk about some other time. So for now, have a look at our website. It's going to be updated either today or tomorrow, and it will have a new look. Same things on it, but it is going to be much more beautiful. So go and check it out and sign up for our newsletter, which will be coming soon. So yeah. So bye for now, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Hello, Arthur.